Hey everyone, my name is Diego Mello at StratiVentures, and this video is about spotlighting one of our members' projects. His name is Felipe Padilla. He's been a member of StratiVentures for a while, and we really want to focus on a success story, obviously talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I want to introduce you guys to Felipe. Felipe Padilla is one of our SVI members, and welcome Felipe. We want to know a little bit about your project at 810 Oak Moss.
So, hey. Hi everybody, and thank you Diego for having me here. Thank you Ori. And yes, super excited. We just closed on this deal. As Diego said, this is the property. I finally got my hard hat from SBI. And when I joined SBI, I told Diego, one day I'm gonna have this baby sitting there with my name on it, and today is the day.
Felipe, before becoming a real estate investor, tell everybody what your previous experience was in real estate and what did you do before this?
Okay. So before this, I didn't have much experience in real estate. I was an engineer in the oil and gas, and for many years, then I originally working in Mexico, got transferred to the U.S. in Houston, and rapidly I started thinking about, okay, what I'm gonna do with the money that I'm saving. It's just sitting in the bank is not an option because you lose money actually if you sit just sitting there. So I wanted to put my money to work. And I got into real estate. I joined a national real estate investing network where I met Diego through that organization. But the truth is, they provide great education content, but at the end of when you finish the content, then you're by yourself. And it's a national organization, so I'm sitting here trying to work here in Houston, Texas, and they are everywhere else, and I just needed some support, local support, and build my network of contractors, of key people that I need in my business as part of my team. And that's where I started looking, and I spoke with Diego one day when we didn't have gray hair, probably a few years ago, and then I joined SBI.
Felipe, this project that you got at Oak Moss, some of the questions that most people are going to ask is probably the most important question is, how did you obtain this property? How did you get it? Because deals are far few, they're hard to come by, if you really want to say that.
Absolutely, that's a great question, and that was a question I was asking myself, like how in the world I'm gonna get a good deal? Because I get deals in my email inbox every day, but once you analyze them, they're really bad, they suck, they're over 80%. Cost to value, and definitely if there's a good one out there, it's not gonna last more than 5 minutes, and typically somebody else is gonna go for it and gonna have reserves in the bank. So after trying that method, I realized, you know what, if I want to get a good deal, I gotta work it myself from the ground up. So I started putting all the blocks in place to create my own system to contact sellers directly. Otherwise, working through wholesalers, they're probably good wholesalers out there. I'm not gonna burn them all, but for the most part, they will send you bad deals, right? So, but take a look at them. You may find a good one. So, but in my case, I got tired of just analyzing deals and seeing numbers of over 80% LTV, I'm sorry. And then what I did was starting my own marketing campaigns. So I chose, like we see in the coaching here with Diego in SBI, I knew I needed to have at least 3 to 5 different methods of marketing just to get some traction with it. And the one that really worked for me was driving for dollars and direct mail, believe it or not. Right? So I didn't have enough time because I was working back then. So I hired drivers. So I hired 2 drivers, and I was paying them by the hour. And we traced a route, and we told them, okay, I want to sweep this zip code, and I went with them, we drove together, I told them, I trained them basically of what I wanted to see in a property, so basically distressed properties, just explain them the signs of how to recognize a distressed property and specific neighborhoods. We tried to hit first the neighborhoods without HOAs because they tend to, people just don't care much about their aspect of their house without an HOA, just getting on top of them. But this one particularly, Outmost Drive, it's in an HOA. It's actually pretty good on getting on top of you if you don't do things right. And tell me how I know. Right? So I got a few letters from them while we were doing the renovation. But surprisingly, this house, on the outside, it didn't look that bad, but man, in the inside was really, really bad. So I don't know if you want to know the story, but basically is the owner, she got older, got Alzheimer, moved with the daughter, and then the grandson moved in, and he threw a few parties, got high with friends and all, and they just trashed the house, basically. So they just wanted some cash, quick, just to take care of the mom, and just for whatever lifespan she has left, and just to take care of the medicine and the doctors and everything like that. So that's one of the best things that I experienced in this career, just helping others achieve those goals, right? So what is super noble cause for a daughter to just get money to take care of her mom for the rest of her life. And but make no mistake, I wasn't the only offer. So obviously she told me like 6 to 8 different letters in the mail. So we did our bidding, I run my numbers, I went aggressive, and I got the deal. But it wasn't that easy. So first contact was in October of 2020, and I closed in April 2021. So during all those months, it was just follow up, trying to build rapport with her, because she actually sold me the property and we never met in person until the open house. But the first time I met her, we hugged each other. She saw the quality of renovation we did with her mom's house, and she was just full of joy and so happy. She told her siblings, and she told me they were crying. She showed them pictures and all because she was so proud of the work we did with the property.
So Felipe, one of the most important things I think that everybody who's listening should get from this is that we're in the people business first and foremost. So you're not getting instant, rewards like making the offer in October and then getting it then.
Yeah.
But you think about the money you're going to make, because I know this is going to be a home run for you.
Yes.
Is definitely worth the time you would have spent if you would have been behind a desk 9 to 5. So why not doing it, meeting people, understanding them, having empathy, and basically nurturing relationships and growing that deal, even though it took you all the way through, you said was what, April?
Yep.
All the way through April. So guys, we're in the people business, and how do people meet people? If you go knock on their doors, drive for dollars. That's why I think that's probably one of the most effective actions that we can take.
And believe me, you gotta build your skills over the phone, because we were just not talking about business, we were talking about family, we were talking about her grandsons and nieces and I don't know, parties and celebrations, and first contact was back in October. We're talking about Christmas preparations and things like that. So she really felt that I was genuinely interested in her life and serving her, providing a service, instead of just getting the money and getting the property and moving her out. So I think that was key. And I can tell you that because when we met, she got into the open house and I heard her voice and I told her, "You are, my seller." And she's like, "Yes, I am." And
awesome.
We just hug each other, and because we established a friendship relationship over the phone in this case, because due to COVID, right? So because everything happened during COVID times and it was kind of crazy, but we finally met, and it was a super awesome experience.
Great. That's the true value of this business. So Felipe, obviously establishing that rapport, building that relationship with that person, doesn't automatically mean that we're going to have a solid low risk investment, right? A low risk deal. So definitely I want to know and share with us, number one, your process of the validation, the numbers, the risk mitigation, your analyzer. Because at the end of the day, you may have a good relationship with somebody, but if the numbers don't work,
Exactly.
you got to meet an amazing person, but obviously this wasn't a big deal.
So I remember that time I started to get traction and calling you like, Diego, I need the rehab analyzer, you know, and I was boring you like every other day. It's like, okay, run these numbers, until finally you tell me, why don't you come here and get the little phone and you run your numbers. Because I was boring so much, because I was getting traction, guys. I was doing it. I had at some point in time over 2,000 mailers going out there. Yes, it costs money and it's an investment, but believe me, the return on investment on that marketing is over the roof. So, but yeah, you need to have a budget and you need to be disciplined with it. And that allowed me to write offers. And one thing Diego's gonna emphasize you guys all the time is write offers, write offers. It doesn't matter how many deals you analyze, if you don't write the offer, it's like you did nothing. So I started writing offers and getting outbid all the time, every time, and I just got tired of it and just started, just writing down my numbers and my percentages, and analyzing my offers, and trying to be a little bit more aggressive because the market is super aggressive these days. And that's what I did. So I wasn't a realtor, but I had awesome tools like access to the MLS, and that allowed me, and obviously Diego's training allowed me to get my ARV, very precise, and with the tool that he provides for the Reaper estimates, that he's gonna put you in the ballpark, like plus minus 10%-ish. I was really confident on my numbers, which allowed me to be more aggressive while still making money. So I'll be honest with you, I was targeting for $25,000 profit, right? So for a renovation of that size, it's probably low, but I had my contingencies, my 10% extra in my repairs, and guys, at some point you need to take a risk, but a calculated risk. So, and Diego talks a lot about risk mitigation here. So I threw my offer. She asked me to put it in writing, so I put it in writing, sent it to her, and didn't hear back from her in 2 weeks. Then I started calling, and you're saying hi and asking what do you think about the offer, and she was waiting for other 6 or 7 offers to come by, and it took her like probably a couple of months. But guys, you gotta be patient. So throw your offer. Sometimes it's gonna be really quick. You're gonna know if you win or lose. But sometimes you just gotta continue to be very polite and make contact with the seller without getting in the nerves. You know what I mean, right? So be sensitive about that, because she wasn't ready when she requested an offer. But then at the end of the year, she told me, Felipe, I'm ready. I'm gonna make a decision. It's like, it's great. So hopefully I can be of service. And it's all about providing service, guys. So part of my offer was, like 0 contingencies on your side. So you're just gonna receive the cash. That's net in your pocket. You don't have to do anything. I sent a notary, a mobile notary, to whatever place you want, and she didn't have to do anything. It was a seamless transaction. It was worry-free, super, no stress at all, and every time I just emphasized that everything was gonna go through a title company, so she felt more comfortable. And I used one of our network title companies, North American Title, with Dennis, and awesome guy. I highly recommend him. He's really knowledgeable, and he helped me all the way with all the questions that we have. But the process was super smooth. The day of closing, I closed in the morning, she closed during lunchtime, and I was done. So super easy. And on their side, super easy. And I got my private money lenders in place already. And I talked to them about the deal, showed them the property, we walked the property together, I showed them the numbers, and they were automatically on board. Because they saw the potential, they saw the numbers, and they said, you know what, it's a good investment, let's do it.
One of the things, Felipe, I think also that in what you just said, that I think everybody here should really understand, is that while you are keeping in contact with her, you also need to be educating the consumer, educating the seller of the potential people that might be approaching her. That's what we do. Letting her know that you are the back-end buyer. Because there are wholesalers that are going to go out there and represent themselves as buyers, in which at the end of the day are not. So we want to make sure that the sellers understand that you are going to be the back-end buyer. That alerts them. We tell the sellers what to ask, what to look for, right? How to vet out the buyer, which in turn makes them more educated to the level of picking the right person.
Yeah.
Now, because you picked the right they picked the right person, that's one thing. The seller picks you, but the reason why your private money lender picked you instantly is because you were a lower risk investor to invest in,
Yeah.
because of your mentality and the training that you received at SVI. And I strongly believe that if you can reduce the risk on the seller end and also on the lending side, it's going to be a win-win transaction for everybody.
Yes.
So with that, talk numbers. Tell me ARVs. Tell me repair budgets. Let's go into that.
My ARV for that part of town was, in that specific home, is a 3,444 square feet. It's a big house with 5 bedrooms and 3.5 baths in a beautiful neighborhood, very desirable, close to major highways, great school district, and it's a transitional neighborhood as well. So a lot of older people are living and new families are coming. And so the ARV, final ARV, and that's the price I sold the property for, is $375,000, right? So my initial repair budget that I estimated was between 110 and 120, with a maximum of 130. So 130 was like, okay, this is it. We can't go beyond that, otherwise I'm gonna get in trouble. It's gonna be too skinny of a deal, right? So I made a deal with my contractor, and kudos to my contractor. If you're watching this, he's an awesome guy, very honest and a hard worker. We established a budget, and we established a relationship in such a way that he felt comfortable with me, just putting the materials myself with my money, and he was providing all the labor and service. So that allowed me to decrease the repair budget big time. Okay, but and I'm going to be honest with you, Diego. At the beginning, so I had the money for the acquisition. I did not have all the money for the repairs, but I knew I could get it, right? So I started obviously with my funds and personal funds, transfer that to my LLC and start working with that. And then when I start showing the project to family and friends, they start getting excited. My dad just put money, like, hey, I want to invest in this as well. So he sent me money, and that made it possible, right? Thank you for that. It was super helpful. And you know, when you have a good deal in your hands, money's gonna come. So if you don't have the money, I took the risk because I knew I was gonna be able to have it, and I could get a loan from another lender, no problem, because of my cost to value was already there. But at the end, the more money you borrow, is the less money you're gonna have, final profits, right? So I wanted to use everything I had, and I spoke with my wife, and this is a family decision. It's like, hey, we're going there. This is an awesome deal. See, I might not explain the numbers to my wife. It's like, hey, let's go for it. So ARB 375. At the end, I ended up putting $135,000 in repairs. So we did everything. So we did a new roof, new plumbing, new electricity, new floors, new kitchens, new baths, new fence. You name it, it's new. So it's a 1971 house with 2021 features. So it's awesome. It's a home run. And then everybody in the neighborhood, I invited in the open house to all the neighbors, and they just love it. They just fell in love, and they were just talking wonders about that. And actually, I got more opportunities because they told me, it's like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this at my home? I want to renovate my kitchen, and this is beautiful. So it's all about networking, showing your work, and once you get a deal, just keep the ball rolling and it start flowing, right? So people will see it, show, expose. This is what we do videos like this. So we want to expose our good work to the world and to our neighbors, and so more people are going to be interested in, and more deals are going to come. So the purchase price, I offer the seller a cash offer of $130,000, and I was the best offer back then. So this is back then in October, right?
Okay, so all good. It's 130 acquisition, 135 renovation, and then you had your sales price of 375,
Yes.
which in your overall deal analyzer gave you some good wiggle room for incidentals and
Absolutely.
market adjustments. So
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, this turned out to be a very good opportunity for you and your
Yes.
family.
Absolutely. So I think, and I use, just if you're curious, I use the SBI calculator with a few modifications that I made myself. But basically, that's it. That's what I use, right? And it worked very well. And let me tell you, so the profit at the end of the day, just this can, by the way, I use Model 3, right? So the private money acquired the property, and I put the money for the renovations,
Excellent.
right? So to me, that was obviously, if you have 100% of in cash reserve, that's the best. But the second best was option number 3, and the private money lender is part of the network. They know me, they know Diego. They've been trained just like me, and they know how it works. So I just mentioned them, hey, I want to do this. Option number 3, they knew what I was talking about, and boom, let's do business, right? So that's an awesome advantage of being part of the network as well.
Right, Felipe, so from the experience that you had, what are the key takeaways that you would not do, or I'm sorry to say, is what did you learn from this?
Okay, number 1, stay motivated, because you're gonna get a lot of no's, okay? And it's a mindset. Your mindset needs to be, I'm looking people who I can be of service, right? So not everybody needs your services, and that's okay. So you're gonna get a lot of no's, maybe a few F-bombs. So guys, it hit me. Like, honestly, I was taking it personal, but it's not. So lesson learned from me, I'm still learning not to take it personal, and to keep motivated and keep going, and just stick to a plan. And if you're gonna call 10 people today, just do it. You know, sit down, do it, and do your marketing pieces. That's another thing. Be consistent with your marketing. If you're consistent, it will yield results. If you're not, it's money wasted. So if you're gonna do it, commit yourself, do it, otherwise don't. All right? And number 3 will be know your numbers, get the tools, get the network. Obviously, when I got the deal, I already have a contractor lined up, already have private money lender lined up, already have my numbers crunched down and validated. So those are the 3 key things that I will recommend everybody to have. Get your team in place, because when the opportunity shows up, if it's a good one, it's not going to last long, and you need to take it, grasp it, and make it yours.
Well, Felipe, thank you so much for sharing that information, and I think everybody that's listening or watching, that staying motivated, making offers, having a team prepared, and basically keeping the horse in front of the cart at all times is going to help you act fast in real estate.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, Felipe, thank you again for your time, and thank you for everybody that's watching.
Thank you, everybody.
For more information about StratiVentures and to also be able to be a part of success stories like Felipe, please join us at www.investorrealestatetraining.com. There you can register for free one-on-one training, and where we get to know how we're going to be able to work together and how we can help you be successful in this business. Also, remember to like us on all Instagram and all social media platforms. Look for StratiVentures, and we look forward to working with you.